Hi, everybody. David here, co-founder of M-Cultivo. We wanted to kick off this auction year with a different format on these podcasts, just to answer a few of the common auction questions we've been getting in 2025. We had an amazing year in the coffee auction world in 2025, with records being broken across multiple categories, including the $30,000 per kilo coffee that was sold during the Best of Panama auction. I still can't get over that. And as we head into a new year, I want to take a moment and respond to some of the most common questions we received in 2025 about auctions. A lot of the conversation at the moment is about the Dubai coffee auction by DMCC that kicks off this week. And I'll definitely get to that later on, some of the nuts and bolts around it. But just as a precursor, the Dubai coffee auction is a great example of the power of auctions. The auction is a hybrid event where bidders will have the opportunity to participate in person and online. So traditionally, coffee auctions have been an exclusively online format where there are oceans between the producers and the buyers. And our goal with the Dubai coffee auction is to connect producers to buyers, not just directly, but in the way that encourages long-term relationships. And the Dubai coffee auction brings producers and buyers together physically in Dubai, which is super exciting. And so they get to meet personally. They have an impactful transaction on our platform at the auction. So they're actually buying and selling a lot, and they build great businesses together. So to be clear, we don't want to exclude our global audience from our auctions. They participate in all of our auctions. And as not everybody is lucky enough to get to Dubai, the auction also occurs online at mcultivo.com. So don't worry if you can't make it to Dubai, because participants can bid in real time, just like every other auction on our platform. We just have that added in-person element, which makes it really exciting to participate in. So a common question I get is simply, how do auctions work? So the rules of auctions are fairly simple with M-Cultivo. Bidders register on mcultivo.com for any auction available. They go through an approval process where we work with the producer to make sure the bidder is valid. The bidder can then access the live auction after they've been approved. So auctions occur at set times with fixed reserve prices. And that kind of leads to, what is a reserve price? So the reserve price is just the starting minimum price for each coffee. It's just a fancy word for the minimum price. At the start time, there's a period of open bidding. So in open bidding, this is where bidders can bid on any lot at any amount above the reserve price. After lots have received bids, a clock starts to count down, and every bid that is placed restarts that clock. So if the clock is set at 3 minutes and it's counting down, gets to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and a bid is placed, it restarts to 3 minutes and starts counting down again. This happens over and over again until no more bids are placed and that clock hits 0. At that time, the auction ends and winners are announced. So how do roasters know what to buy? If this is an online auction and we're talking about physical coffees, how do you know what to buy? How do you decide what to bid on? And the answer to that is pretty simple. Auctions generally have a sample set that is for sale prior to the auction. So producers put these beautiful sample sets together. For the Dubai auction, we take the responsibility on as the auction house to put the sample set together for all these producers. And a bidder can buy a sample set, have it shipped to them, and they get to try the coffees for themselves before the auction day. They can have their friends try it. They can have their community try it. So often there's community cuppings held, and you can look out for those on social media or on our website to see where those cuppings are being held around the world and potentially participate without having to buy your own sample set. So there is a strategy here on cupping these coffees and prioritizing your top lots for the auction, and then managing your bids to a budget accordingly. I wish we all had unlimited budgets, but we don't. We have to pay attention to how much we're spending at any given time with any given business. So If you have any questions on how to set that strategy, you can reach out to our team for one, if you ever need any help as a participant in auctions, and we'll help you get set up. But we also have features on our platform like auto bids to help automate your bidding process to a budget. So with an auto bid, you set a max budget and a bid increment. So what do you want to bid as your maximum, and how much do you want each bid to go up automatically? And the platform will handle that automatic bidding process for you without you having to stress about watching the auction every second of that open bidding period or during that final bidding by the clock period. So, how is the Dubai coffee auction different, right? Because this is a slightly different format than our current auctions. As I mentioned before, it is a hybrid format where there's in-person bidding and online bidding. And so that can be a little bit tricky or confusing for people. So I just want to say, first and foremost, it's just an opportunity for the best coffee producers around the world to join together in a single auction, which is a true first of its kind event. We have lots from Panama, from Yemen, from Bolivia, from Brazil, from Guatemala, Colombia, and even the United States is involved with California and Kona. I'm leaving a few out, I'm sure, but you can visit our website and you can see the full list. It's impressive. And the auction bridges the networks of these producers and buyers all over the world and brings them to an in-person event to celebrate these wonderful coffees. It is a true masterclass in coffee production, I would say. But more importantly, for people listening to this, might be the nuts and bolts of it, which is, how is this format different, right? And it is different. And if you are participating, it's worthwhile to go to mcultivo.com, go to the Dubai Coffee Auction and read the rules because they're slightly different than a normal auction. But just as a quick breakdown, the Dubai Coffee Auction starts on January 18th at 10 a.m. for the open bidding round. So approved bidders for the auction can place a bid on any lot for any amount above the reserve price on our platform. And this open bidding round, which has no clock, only has a deadline, which ends on January 19th at 2 p.m. So it's a little bit over 24 hours, the open bidding for this auction. At that point, we select the top 3 bidders on each lot. So the top 3 winners on the lot so far, the top 3 highest priced bids. And we say they will progress to round 2, which round 2 is likened to a bidding war, where those 3 bidders will compete against each other for each individual lot, right? So the top 3 bidders on lot 1 will go into a bidding war. That one lot will go up for auction. There will be a live auctioneer. And that will happen in person and be streamed live globally. The platform will be open. So if you're not watching the streaming, you can still follow along and bid on M-Cultivo's platform. And the auctioneer will go through each individual lot one by one, offering up the lot to those 3 top bidders for that lot that came from round 1. We then progress to lot 2, right? Top 3 bidders go into competition that were in the winning top 3 bids from round 1 on that particular lot. They go to round 2 and they compete. And so when no more bids are entered on the platform for each individual lot, the auctioneer will declare the winner of the lot and it is sold to the highest bidder. So it's sort of this hybrid event where we have an open bidding format similar to all coffee auctions. And then we have this live auctioneer like you would see, in any famous auction or any given auction globally. When people tend to think of auctions, they think of an auctioneer and they think of a live auction format. It is like that. And that's how that final round acts, is in a bidding war. So in order to make it to round 2 and actually win the lot, you just have to be in the top 3 winning bidders in the open bidding round. So just pay attention to that if you are planning to participate, that you'll need to be in those top 3 bidders on the lot that you are bidding on. Another question I often get is, okay, great, David, you walked through the format, you walked through what these auctions are, how they function. I'm still a little bit confused on why do auctions need to exist in specialty coffee? Can't I just call the producer and buy a lot? And of course, I mean, there is some debate on the benefits of auctions, but from what our team has seen firsthand is they are impactful for coffee producers. And that's kind of why we're in business, right? Auctions are a transparency tool by their nature, which we want to promote. They reflect a price a buyer is willing to pay for a certain coffee in an open, fair, competitive environment, which we seek to create with our platform. It is a price discovery mechanism, number one, for producers. Just, you know, intuitively, a producer is going to put a coffee up for auction and they're going to find out what price people are willing to pay for that. Instead of just having a one-on-one negotiation with a buyer, they have a negotiate with multiple buyers, right? That's what an auction is. And it is also a sourcing discovery mechanism for buyers. So instead of buyers having to make all these phone calls to producers and travel to origin, which is all amazing things, we want people to do that. Many of the bidders that participate in our auctions are participating and using the auction to kick off and start a relationship with the producer without the expense of having to try and figure out how to source coffee and travel to origin and all of the necessary activities that go along with that. Roasting is their full-time business, or coffee buying is their full-time business, and this is a helpful tool for them to use. It's not their full sourcing strategy, but it is a helpful tool. And so we, of course, hope that these relationships lead to many personal visits, but at the very least, the connection has been made, and that's successful. A good price is being paid for coffees generally, and we're excited to facilitate that on our platform. Auctions also inspire innovation. So they're an outlet for coffee producers and buyers to try all these new amazing coffees, processing methods, new varietals, and just find out what they are worth in the market. So these types of experiments are often a little too risky outside of an auction or a competition environment. Producers need kind of an end goal, an end platform to put these experimental coffees on, and auctions are there to provide that, right? And finally, I'd say auctions are not just efficient in the ways that I've described above, but they're also a brand building opportunity for both producers and buyers. Producers put their best on offer to a global network of buyers, so they get great exposure around that and can make headlines for the prices they receive. Buyers get to put their brand on display with some of the best coffees in the world. So buyers who win these lots are investing in a relationship with a producer, in innovation in coffee, and in their own brand as they put these tremendous coffees on display. So I'm incredibly excited to see what happens in 2026. Just if it is anything like 2025, we'll see new producer stories emerge, new innovations in coffee to be put on display. We'll see incredible price records be broken, and we'll see some of the great lasting relationships in coffee be started. So with that, I'll just leave you, and I hope to see you in 2026. We'll see you online. We'll see you in person. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me or my team if you have any questions about auctions. And I hope this was helpful. We'll get back to our normal podcast and our interviews with the best coffee producers and buyers around the world in the coming weeks. Welcome to 2026, and we'll see you soon.